O you who believe, ward off yourselves and your families against a fire hell whose fuel is men and stones, over which are appointed angels stern and severe, who disobey not from executing the commands they receive from Allah, but do that which they are commanded. He said, it was ignited for 1,000 years until it became white, and for 1,000 years until it became red, and then for 1,000 years until it became black. It is black, and its flame does not give light. Gabriel went to the Prophet at a time during which he would not come to him. The Prophet said, O Gabriel, why do I see that your colour has changed? He said, I did not come to you until Allah ordered for the opening of the HellFire. The Prophet said, O Gabriel, describe the HellFire to me and describe hell to me. He said, Allah ordered for it, and it was ignited upon for 1,000 years until it became red. Then it was ignited upon for 1,000 years until it became white, and then it was ignited upon for 1,000 years until it became black. It is black and dark. Its sparks do not give light, and its blaze does not extinguish. And he said, by the one who has sent you with the truth, were a ring from the rings of the chain that Allah described in his book, to be placed on a mountain of this world, it would melt it. Then the Prophet said, that is sufficient for me, O Gabriel, do not split my heart. The Messenger of Allah split my heart. The Messenger of Allah looked and saw Gabriel crying. He said, O Gabriel, you are crying, though you have a very high status with Allah. He said, and what should prevent me from crying? When I do not know whether in the knowledge of Allah I will be in another situation. For Iblis was once with the angels also. Harut and Marut were from the angels. The Prophet and Gabriel continued to cry until it was called out, O Muhammad and O Gabriel, Allah has indeed secured you both from becoming angry. Gabriel then rose and the Prophet went out. He then passed by a group of his companions who were talking and laughing. He said, you are laughing, though the hellfire is behind you, coming from behind you, meaning the day of resurrection is approaching and near. Were you to know what I know, you would have laughed only a little, and you would have cried much, and you would have went out to highlands, praying ardently to Allah. Then Allah revealed, O Muhammad, I indeed sent you as a bearer of glad tidings. Then the Messenger of Allah said, rejoice, Sadidu, be upon righteousness in action, and correctness in speech, and Karibu, come as close as you can do to uprightness in action and correctness in speech. Referring to Ismail, this hadith is Hasan and its chain is good. On the day of resurrection, Abu Talib will incur the smallest degree of punishment from the dwellers of hell. Related the uncle of the Messenger of Allah, Abu Talib, was mentioned in his presence. Then the Messenger of Allah said, perhaps my intercession will benefit him on the day of resurrection, so that he is placed in a shallow part of the hellfire, where the fire will reach his ankles, and from that his brain will boil. In the narration of Muslim, Abu Sa'id reported that the Messenger of Allah said, the dweller of the hellfire who will be punished the least is he who will wear shoes of fire. His brain will boil from the heat of his shoes. Reported that the Messenger of Allah said, the least punished of the dwellers of hell is he who has two shoes on his feet. His brain will boil from them. Ahmad related this narration, and then he mentioned the completion of the hadith. Related that he heard the Prophet say, indeed, the least punished from the dwellers of hell on the day of resurrection is a man for whom live coils are placed under his feet. From them his brain will boil. Muslim related it from the hadith of Shubha. Related that he heard the Prophet say, on the day of resurrection, the least punished of the dwellers of hell is a man for whom two live coils are placed on the soles of his feet. From them his brain will boil, just as a cauldron boils, and a kunkum, a kind of boiler made of copper, boils. Ibn related that the Messenger of Allah said, the least punished from the dwellers of hell is Abu Talib. He will wear two shoes, from which his brain will boil.